I have so much to tell you, friends.
And it ricocheted up. It hit him in his man parts, okay?
Oh my goodness.
Hi friends, Tracy here from the Sewing Channel. I am just chugging along on my winter slow sew. I mean, spring slow sew.
I mean,
Summer slow sew. Dare I say, we may be going into fall on this one. But friends, this is a lot of time to do this. I mean, this is like hand sewing, right? I mean, it is hand sewing. It's not like hand sewing. But yeah, it's taken me a while, so there's no doubt. A slow sew is just how it reads, slow sew. There ain't nothing fast about this quilt right here. Now friends, if you have never seen one of these slow sew videos from me and you're wondering what in the world is this woman working on, well, I've got good news for you. I have a playlist that's down in the description box and I will pin it in the first comment. It will have a link to where you can go and see all the videos from start to finish, where I find the templates, the free pattern. I even have a download for you, totally free. First off, enough talking already, right? Friends, I have so much to tell you in this video. I really do. I've been busy, and I've been busy in my sewing room, but I haven't turned my camera on. I know. Y'all are like, why not? Why not, right? I hear you. I can hear you. Well, I don't know. I have finished 2 quilts in like 2 weeks, and I just haven't felt like putting on my camera. I just kind of wanted to just make these quilts and just kind of do my own thing without turning on my camera. And I don't know why, but that's just the way, you know, it is. I don't know. I want to talk about the webbing and what it is on this quilt, and what am I talking about? Am I losing my mind webbing my quilt, right? I know. Well, it's really simple. There are so many pieces to this quilt that color-wise, I wanted to make sure that I placed them in the right spots so that I didn't have 2 touching each other that were the same. Webbing it, that solved all the mystery for me. Let me pop up the video here and show you what I mean by webbing. And this is why it's very important that before you even attach these pieces on, that you have folded them in half and you've marked the middle on each piece. That's going to save you a ton of headache. That way you're not going to have one row that is veering off into nowhere land to where you have 3 inches extra on the end. You're going to be nice and even throughout this whole quilt, and you do that by easing and easing out of the seam as you go. That'll make more sense once you get going on it, but what you're going to do is match up 2 pieces that are tacked together, so to speak, or webbed together already in the corners, and then fold it down and then find the center of the block, because remember, we have staggered these, so you'll find the center, that center mark, and then you will just join those 3 pieces together, tacking them together or webbing them together. And once you get enough done up, then you're able to just grab your project and just sew the rows. And it's so much easier, friends. I ain't even kidding you. Once I started to do that and figured that out, I was like, okay. Because I had these pieces all over the place. I didn't know what was where or what I was putting where, or if I had too many red in one spot, or, you know, all that. That in itself is a huge tip for this slow sew. So when you get it this far, you're able to put it on your lap and it keeps you kind of warm, you know, while you're doing your slow sew. I have the air running, even though it's like 80 degrees outside, so it's a little chilly in here. So that is a huge help. Trust me when I tell you, doing the webbing on this, it was a game changer for me. It made this slow sew that much sweeter. I have so much to tell you, friends, so much, so much. So let's see. You know, I went to my quilt retreat and with the 3 amigas, and I did post a bunch of videos. Those were some of the last ones that I posted. We had so much fun. I met
so many just wonderful quilters and sewists. I couldn't even believe it, really. Just so many of you are so sweet and you're so giving. I mean, so many of you gave gifts, and if you gave gifts and cards and whatnot, just know that I'm very thankful. I really am. It was just so sweet to meet each of you. I mean, really, I had a blast too with the amigas, my quilt amiga sisters. They're crazy, I told you, right? So I'm just webbing a couple more spots here before I sew the row. One of the highlights of the 3 Quilt Amigas quilt retreat was that I got to meet a follower of the sewing channel that is doing this slow sew right along with me. And that was so neat to see her things and what her progress and how she was doing it. And let me tell you what, she is a phenomenal quilter. I mean, her hand quilting puts my hand quilting to literal shame. I kid you not. Her name was Jody, and Jody taught me a few things about slow sewing, and I just thought, wow, she is just remarkable. I took her out of her comfort zone a little bit, and I asked her to let me video her showing how she folded and basted her slow sew rectangle pieces. Totally different from the way I was doing it, but hers were absolutely perfect. I'm going to slip that video in here right now because I need you to meet Jody and see exactly how she folded her rectangles, because, friends, far better than mine, far better. Take it away, Jody. Friends, this is my new friend, Jody. Hi. And she is really digging my slow sew, just like a lot of you out there. And I wanted to make sure that I showed you what my friend Jody made so far, and it's amazing. I want you to look at her mitered corners. Her mitered corners are amazing, and you know I don't do them quite like this. I mean, really, and these are all like your little, do you do an applique stitch? So she does the little whip stitch kind of a thing? Well, I do an applique stitch, and you can totally see my stitches, but you cannot see her stitches.
It's the same stitch I use in my bindings.
That is amazing. There she is, girls. She's a little shy, so I'm not gonna make her sweat, but look at this. And this fabric, Jody, tell me again where you got this fabric from.
The yellows and the lavenders came from Walmart, as well as all the solids. And the roses all came from Temu.
I mean, are you as floored as I am, friends? I cannot believe that some of this came from Temu. I mean,
It's
really
good fabric.
Yeah, it's got a good feel to it.
I use glue sticks. They work perfectly.
They do.
These are the Pen and Gear from Walmart. You
Yep.
get 2 of them for like 74 cents. And I just glue this down. Try to center it.
So you don't use the templates?
No.
Wow. Oh, you don't cut the fab. Oh, girl.
The
Okay.
batting and your floral fabric is cut at 2.5 by 5. I trim the floral down a little bit so that when you fold over the edges, it doesn't pucker. And then your background is 4 by 6.5. And you just fold it down, bring it down almost to your floral.
As you're doing that, I'm going to tell my friends on YouTube that your girl is not going to unpick and redo to get perfect mitered corners, but I will tell you that I will try this technique on my next one.
I'll just do the one side. Well,
Okay.
no, I'll do the other side
Okay.
too. Get that out.
Whatever you want to do.
That way it'll show up a little better. I'm all about finger pressing.
So you find it's better if it's not like cut at the corners.
Nope, I'm gonna cut it in the corner
Okay.
afterwards.
Okay.
And I find if you just hold it a little bit, it sticks better.
Mm-hmm.
And then take the scissors and just go
Just a little bit out of my.
from here, just kind of snip them up like that.
Oh, okay.
It helps get rid of some of the bulk.
Oh, sure.
The worst part's getting the glue off your fingers.
Just loving this project.
Yes,
It's very
absolutely.
therapeutic, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You just take your corners, fold them in, hold it for a second.
Now your batting looks a little bit bigger. Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah, it's the 2.5 by 5. I just trim this up just a little bit because when I fold it over, it tends to pucker more.
Yeah. And you don't use a lot of glue.
No, just takes longer to dry that way.
Right? Gosh, your work is so
Fold it
nice
down.
and neat.
Oh, thank you. There you go. The little clip on the corner.
Word. Wow. Friends, I just learned a new way how to miter the corners on this, and they do look perfect.
Miter the corners.
Wow.
And then you come back and, like this one here, just kind of stitch around. Hold it down.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much,
You're
Jody.
welcome.
I mean, those are amazing. This is how we roll when you're slow sewing. You got all these bags. Look at how
Yeah.
organized. You see how organized she is.
These are the ones that I still have yet to cover.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Didn't know how far I'd get this
What is the
weekend.
best thing about this slow sew?
It's very relaxing.
Well, thank you so much, my new friend Jody, and she's not that far from me.
That's right.
So you never know, we might get together. Who knows, right?
Right.
What did you all think of Miss Jody and her slow sew? I know, right? I mean, those mitered corners, yeah, I was coveting them big time. I thought, oh my goodness, I really tried to make mine so nice and neat, right? But no way does it look like hers. No way. I mean, her miters were just like on point big time. But anyway, so I know all of ours probably look so different, you know, and I'm still waiting on some pictures too from you all to show me your progress. So I'm going to come down here where I have webbed this bottom row. I think all 4 rows are webbed here. I don't know if you can see there. Those are all nice and webbed. I'm just gonna start sewing a row. Which way do I want to go though? I don't know which way. I think this way. So yeah, that was so awesome to meet Jody. I mean, talk about just an encouragement to me, just to see others just sewing right along with this. It just brings us all together more as a community, I think, and I like it. I don't know. So what else happened at the quilt retreat? We had just a lot of fun. And there are talks that there may be another one next year at the same spot in Missouri. So keep your ears open for that. There are a few pictures that we posted on the amigas.com, 3quiltamigas.com website, so you can see a lot of the shenanigans that went on there. I mean, the group really that we had was just, they were so much fun. The amazing thing about this group of ladies was the fact that a lot of them came alone and it was their very first quilt retreat. How awesome is that to go somewhere alone, not knowing anybody? Usually there's, you know, groups of quilters that go together and go to these things and whatnot, from what I've been told anyways, because this was only my second quilt retreat that I'd ever gone to. So I really can't gauge it really by anything else. So I thought that was interesting. I got to go to Missouri Star Quilt Company, which I, had never been to Missouri before to see any of that. So that was kind of cool. Now, if you missed any steps here that I'm doing and you have questions, just always go to that playlist. And I also have my board that I made there. That's in the playlist. So you have that to look at if you're curious about that. And I'm just doing a whip stitch here on the back, connecting these rows together. So yeah, so I've been busy, but the webbing was one of the biggest things. It felt like once I had the webbing down and where I wanted the pieces, that I was like good to go. I mean, I'm still not maybe halfway done though, so yeah. I mean, I think I still have to cut a lot out, or maybe I have them all cut, they're just not basted yet. So we got a little bit to go, friends, a little bit. So now what's all this talk about me making quilts and not showing them on YouTube? So my daughter and her friend came to me and they were like, we got these two friends and they're both having baby showers a week apart and we really want to make them quilts. And I thought, okay, let's get into this a little bit more. Like, what kind of quilt do you want to make them and whatnot? And of course they were going to be baby quilts. So they mentioned that they wanted these ABC quilts, and they sent me some pictures and different things. And I said, well, I do have an ABC quilt book that actually has the templates of the ABCs in it, right? So I got that out and I thought, well, this looks easy enough. And so first I copied the templates out of the book, and then I was able to have them and then cut out the pieces that I needed. Now at first I thought, oh, this seems easy enough. It's just a lot of pieces, right? And it's a lot of piecing. And at first they were gonna do it. And I said, you know what? We only had like a couple weeks to finish it too. And I said, you know what? This is definitely not a beginner quilt. After I did a couple of these blocks, these ABC blocks, I was like, there's no way this is a beginner quilt. Two people who've never even sewn before. The one had never even pushed fabric through a sewing machine. So yeah, that wasn't gonna work. But they did come over and they helped me cut out pieces, like the background pieces behind the letters and so on and so forth, or the opposite color. And then I ended up just piecing them together. The main thing they really wanted with these quilts was they wanted to incorporate some grandparents who had passed away, their clothing in it. That's always a little difficult because you have to stabilize the backs of these fabrics, like if they're knit and whatnot, because 9 times out of 10, they are not 100% cotton for sure. Not quilting cotton like material anyways. So I had to stabilize. One was a nightgown. It was like a knit. Another was like a very vintagey apron that definitely needed to be stabilized because it was, thin. It was a lot thinner than normal. So I had to stabilize that. Another was this huge, big, thick sweatshirt that had embroidery on it already. That was my toughest one because I had to utilize some of the picture so that the person receiving the quilt can recognize, oh, hey, that's my grandmother's sweatshirt because she wore it all the time. That was kind of you know, what we were going for. And it wasn't going to be every single block was going to be someone's clothing. So that was really good. It was only a few things, and I had to piece a golden retriever dog quilt block, which was insane. Very little pieces, and yeah, so there was a lot of technical things to this quilt that there was no way that a beginner could do. One sweet thing about this golden retriever that I had to piece together was that his tongue had an upside down heart on it. Like the person who was receiving the quilt, the mama of the baby, she had a golden retriever who had a tongue that the heart was upside down, and so it was going to be D for dog, and it was going to be next to the D. And so I thought that was sweet, so we incorporated that. There was a dress that I stabilized and put as a heart. So that was really a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing that. And like I said, I didn't turn my camera on just because I was kind of on a crunch time too. And I like working like that sometimes. And if I were to turn my camera on and such and take the time to do a tutorial, then it would just take away from, you know, me getting things done. But all in all, the quilts, they turned out so stinking cute. And I do have a couple short videos about the binding. You know, you can check those out. You know, no big deal. Just some little tips and tricks that I came across, and I thought, well, I could film these, you know. So those really took up a lot of my time, and I just finished quilting them yesterday, the last one yesterday. So then I thought, oh my word, you all are going to be like, where's Tracy? Who have they captured her or something? And she never came back from her quilt retreat. She was left in Missouri. Who knows, right? I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm fine. And I've been diligently working on my slow sew and just trying to get this webbing done and whatnot. I would really like to get all this sewn up that I have already put together so far, and then work on the other pieces, like the rest of the pieces, like baste them and whatnot, so that way that I'm totally done. But I don't know if we'll get to that. Who knows, right? I think for me, one of the biggest challenges that I find with this quilt is having enough designs to do the embroidery part. I struggle with that because it seems like I'm doing the same things over and over again, which, you know, I am technically, you know, doing the same stitches. Like I do a lot of those little crosses, you know, or plus signs everywhere. I did put this one, I don't know if you can see, that one has a little 2 hearts I did on that to kind of switch things up. I'm doing some, you could probably tell there's some half circles on there, so just to kind of switch some stuff up. I think I outlined one of the elephants somewhere as well. So I'm just, you know, just doing different things just to try to switch things up. But I am finding that that is the most difficult. And if some of you don't know already, if you're just tuning in for the first time, my quilt backing or wrap, if you will, is all cut up from linen clothes, 100% linen clothes from the Goodwill. And that's what's giving it that really nice earthy vibe tone. I believe so anyways. I really am just loving the back of this. I don't know if you can really see. Let me see so I don't poke myself. Let's see if I can show you a little bit anyways. And you can see that, like, this is the pink plaid shirt. I even came across one, oh yeah, right here. Oh gosh, when I got threads sticking out, that one didn't get pulled through or something. I don't know what happened there. I don't know. Oh, I think, you know what? I think I had webbed that. I did. And then it came undone. See, if you don't knot it, it will come undone if you don't do it right away. But anyways, here's this fabric right here. It was like some blues and aquas and some like leaf motifs or something. Yeah, so I thought that one was kind of cool. So you can find a ton of linen at the Goodwill. You really can. I think anyways, at my Goodwill, there's a ton. But yeah, so that's why it's so colorful looking and whatnot. Yeah, it looks like this one came undone too. Gee whiz, I don't know what I'm doing. Messing up over here. I'm looking for a clip. Probably don't have one anywhere, do I? Oh, here's one, here's one. So, yeah, I think this was another one that I did not knot. So if you don't knot it and you pull at it the way I'm pulling at it, yeah, it'll come undone. So now Joann Fabrics. I think Joann's is totally done for, right? Is it the end of May was going to be their end date? I'm not sure if they closed down for sure. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. I'm not in the know on that, so I haven't kept track of that. I have so much fabric already. I don't need any more, right? But yeah, Joann should be done. Where are you all buying your fabric from now? So the last fabric I bought was in Missouri when I was at the quilt retreat. So I have not really bought anything, you know, new. So, but I also have a ton of it already. We do have a Michael's store that's about 30, 40 minutes away. So I can get fabric there if I need to. And also, you know, Hobby Lobby, they're probably seeing a big jump in their sales for fabric, right? And believe it or not, my daughter, she had gotten some green fabric that she wanted to incorporate into these baby quilts. And she went to Hobby Lobby and she brought some home for me. And she said, here, Mom, you know, I bought this for the quilt, see if we can incorporate it. And it was from, where was it from? It was from some company. It was from a designer company, and I can't think of it right now, but I'll post it right here because I'm terrible at designer names, so I will put that here. It was a green fabric. And then I was telling Di about it from Sister Chicks, and she said, oh yeah, I bought that same fabric print color at Christmas time, and it was the only one they had. So yeah, they only had one. So I thought, well, maybe they're, you know, stepping up and they're going to be in there now, right? You never know. And so, yeah. But Di says no, that was just like a one-time deal. They must have gotten a lot in and then, you know, whatever. So I've been, let's see, we've had some beautiful weather here this past week in Ohio. And I still watch my grandkids every week, once a week. It used to be 2 to 3 times a week. Now it's down to like once a week. Well, I ended up getting my granddaughter and I some walkie-talkies because she doesn't have a phone. We're not introducing all that craziness to her. I mean, she's only little, right? And so I thought, well, what if I get her and I some walkie-talkies and we can talk? Well, her house is only 8 miles away, and the walkie-talkies that I bought, they said that it had a 16-mile range. So I thought, ooh, that'll be fun, right? And so she was so excited to get them. Do you know that they don't work? I mean, they were a good brand too, Cobra. They said that it was 16 miles away. You could talk on the walkie-talkies, and we're only 8 miles away. And then, so when I was headed to church, I was like, get out your walkie-talkie. I called her mom. I said, tell her, get it out. And as I'm coming down the road, we'll see how close we have to be. And here I was only like, it was less than a mile. And then finally I heard her, talking on the walkie-talkie. And so I thought, oh, what a joke. So that was like a little angering. But I said, well, at least we can just play with them around the house, So we've been doing that. That's been fun. And I got my grandson a baseball mitt and a t-ball ball because he is such a good thrower. And I'm telling you, the kid, I've never seen a little kid. He's not 2 years old, right? And his aim is like amazing. I mean, he could be in t-ball right now. He could be in something. So I wanted to really foster that for him. So I found him at the Goodwill, if you will. I found him, it was a Mizuno, little tiny baseball mitt, and it was all worked in, and it's real leather, and it's beautiful. And I'm like, oh my word, and those are so expensive. He was so excited to get this baseball mitt, and I was happy to get it for him. So then I got my old softball mitt out, and then we were playing, tossing the ball a little bit, trying to get him used to it. So that was fun. So we've been kind of just, having fun this summer so far. And it's not even really summer yet. I mean, really, technically, I don't think anyways. Well, June, yeah, I guess it is summer. But the weather has just been so nice. So I still have this quilt with me right here, right now. This one was done in pastels. They have not came to get this one yet, but here it is in pastels. Now for this one, it's important to note that they don't know whether or not it's going to be a boy or a girl. Now I know there's pink around there, but there's also blue and green and yellow, and these were the colors that my daughter and her friend chose. So the theme, though, that this mama has for her baby room is like a whitewash look, almost like a lot of white or things that are washed out. And so I talked the girls into letting me flip the fabrics around. Now, I've done this before in the past to get that lighter pastel look. Most of these fabrics, if not all of them, have been flipped to the wrong side, giving it that washed out look. I mean, yeah, it turned out really cute. Now, this one has clothes in it as well, if I can find it. This one has the nightgown from the grandmother in here. And A is the name of her as well, the grandmother, so that's how they wanted that. Oh. Now this one, hopefully you can see that, there's the letter G, and then here you see a golf club. So G for golf. Now the reason why that is significant is, let me tell you this story in like 30 seconds or less. Before they decided that they were going to get married, her husband, which is her husband now, was out golfing. Well, he was with somebody who was kind of a hothead, right? And the guy was golfing next to him, and he got so mad because he didn't hit the ball right or something. Well, he slammed his golf club down on the ground, and it ricocheted up, and it hit him in his man parts, okay? Just saying. And they weren't sure whether or not they were going to have children or not.
I mean, it was a big deal. You know, they went ahead and got married, but they did a lot of doctor visits, and they said they really didn't think they were going to have kids. And if they did, it would be a very, very small percentage of a chance. Well, can I tell you, friends, they got married, and you know it, the rest of the story. They ended up getting pregnant. So that's why my daughter and her friend said, definitely the golf club for the letter G. So I thought I'd share that with you. So it's always fun to put different things in a quilt like this that mean something to the person who's receiving the quilt. Yeah. So this is the whitewash baby quilt that I've been working on. And they'll be taking it, you know, coming soon probably. I am going to the baby shower on this one, and that's this weekend. So she will be receiving that this weekend. Now, some of you might be wondering, what is this thing behind me? Red, white, and blue stripes and all that, or red and white stripes anyways. Well, let me show you a shot of this. I'll pull back a little bit and I'll pop it in here. This is my red, white, and blue flag quilt, and I do have a free pattern on my channel. I'll link everything in the description box where you can find everything. And I love this quilt. It's done with all scraps. The neat thing about the way this is hanging up on my wall is that at Joann's, when they were going out of business, I bought these clover wooden quilt wall hanging hooks or whatever. Now they have a little marble inside of them, and that is what holds the pressure of the quilt up there, but I did need 3, and I do have another one. They come in a pack of 2, so I will link those down below if you're interested in those. And those are just like wooden wall hooks. I don't know. So yeah, right now this looks a hot mess, but hopefully by the next time you tune in to my next Loso, we'll have more done. Until next time on the Sewing Channel, take care. Oh my goodness. Okay, enough playing.